Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment, consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. And if there is anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I'm merely the messenger. And I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And wow, look at that. The eon, the judgment, rebirth, reawakening, baptism by fire. That is a doorway, right? That is a portal to a new life, a new era. Big things are happening in your life right now. Big things are on their way. Let's put that into some context. All right, well, we see the Chariot as well. We see some court cards. Really good fire energy, more fire energy, more fire energy. Wow, this is, Sagittarius, this is really good. I mean, you're a fire sign after all, so I think you can handle all of this fire that we have here. I think it really is something that you're using to facilitate a very major shift in your life. But let's select our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card. We're going to use the Smith-Waite Tarot. And this is just one card that we select at random. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading, all right? And we're just going to set it down. We'll put the alien on top. And that, hopefully, at the end of the reading, will tie everything together and, you know, give us the confirmation that we need at the end of the reading, okay? So, let's take a look at this energy. We've got fire, 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 fire. A lot of fire. We've got a little bit of water. This Cancer, this Chariot energy is some Cancer energy. It's some water energy. So we have a little bit of water, a very little bit of air, and a very little bit of earth. So right away what I can say is because this earth energy, the Three of Discs, is here in this position, we need to stay grounded, we need to stay practical and reasonable, and we need to understand the process of taking this big energy shift, this big transformation, and putting it into practical movement on the physical plane, right? We have to take, we have to take steps. We have to do the work here on the physical plane. But I'm curious about this air energy. This is a Knight of Swords. It's fire and air. This is, again, this is the only air energy that we have here. We have a little bit more air energy when we talk about the princes, because the princes are the air aspect of both the water and the fire. So there's enough air here connecting the court cards to say that there's some kind of network involved here. There's some other people that are either collaborating with you, or perhaps it is through your interaction with a group of people, or through your association with some group of people, that a lot of this is going to come about. So this could be like the opportunity that you've been waiting for. It could be that you network with the right people and you can get your plans, your career, your artistic stuff, your work, your promotion, whatever it is that we're working on. Whatever is the kind of breakthrough that we're waiting for, I think these cards, the presence of this little bit of air and the kind of air that it is, shows that we really need to connect, right? And now I just got the thought that maybe what we really need to connect is the water in the past and the fire in the future. Right, maybe the water here, maybe this is maybe like a mood kind of, but I think this is just kind of a state of your being, kind of an outlook. I think recently we've had this disconnect, talking a lot about connecting and kind of networking. I think there's been a disconnect between what you really desire and what your reality is. That's a Prince of Cups kind of thing. You have a very passionate, intense side of yourself that I think, well, I think has been longing for expression, but with all the fire energy here, I think it's going to be expressed. I think it's going to be coming out and hopefully manifesting in some very practical and appropriate ways, right? We're making moves, we're creating in the practical, physical, material environment. We're producing and creating things. But I think in the recent past, you've had a bit of a disconnect. Again, I feel that you're very intense. You have this intensely creative, very serious, very determined aspect of yourself. It could be an artist. It could be this kind of ambition that you have. There's a real intensity there. But I feel like externally, your world just hasn't been reflecting that. Okay? And for whatever reason now, we see this connection between what you kind of want on the inside, and then we connect it here with the air energy, bringing us to the fire of this Prince of Wands at the end. And now you're fully living this creative life that over here was just kind of kept secret, kept within. Now it is who you are and you're living that. So I feel like this is the transition, right? Going from the water to the fire. Embracing who we feel we are on the inside, you know. Because this is a very intense character. And this is someone who has this inner artist, this inner boss, really, that wants to come out. And for whatever reason, we haven't been in the right environment. Now, I see some indication of that here when we look at the environment and see this Ten of Wands. I feel like maybe life as it has been for you has been a little Ten of Wands. It's been a little overwhelming. It's been a little bit much. There's been a lot of responsibilities. We'll get there in a moment. But first, I want to talk about what's coming your way, because we have this eon. Judgment, rebirth, reawakening. This is hearing the bells, hearing the trumpet, hearing the alarm clock saying, it's time to wake up. Your future is now. This doorway is opening for you. And this is the doorway through which your true self is going to emerge, how we are going to emerge from water. And we're going to be stepping into fire. See, this card's all fire too. So this is kind of like we're walking into the fire, you know, and the fire is going to change us. It's going to transform us. I think really this is the biggest moment of your life where you begin to live through your true self, you know, this expression in a very creative way, in a very confident way. Now, this could be something career related. It could be in your personal life. It could be your art. It could be your spiritual life. You have that inner intensity that now we're living that. We're stepping kind of outside of ourselves. We're bringing all of this stuff forward. I think this is the biggest transformation of your life, honestly. We couldn't really get too much opposite from what's going on than the fire to the water, right? And the fire maybe is a little bit more reserved. It's a little bit more kind of just in this Ten of Wands environment. A lot of responsibility, a lot of work. We're very tired. We're stressed out. We're being stretched very thin. And we have been perhaps accepting it, just doing what we need to do, right? We're transforming into this fire. Now we're doing kind of what our spirit and soul want to do or have to do. So we're going through this doorway, and on the other side of this doorway is a lot more struggle, sure, but it's a struggle that puts you, or puts yourself, your soul, your spirit in the driver's seat. Well, the driver's seat of this chariot too. So let's talk about the chariot. It's underneath everything. This has been your desire for progress, for movement, this desire for something else, right? For something more. And I think it's kind of the inner longing that we feel when we know that there's this whole other side of yourself that's being not neglected, but not fulfilled, right? Not lived. So the Chariot is very much, I think, prepared to do this work. You're ready. You're ready to make this transformation. It's just a matter now of, I think, making the right connections. And this connection could literally be, between other people that are going to, be related to the opportunity that you have to manifest this on the physical plane, right? We need to make the literal connections with other people in the world, But this is also the way that we are connecting with our true self, and we are now living by that mandate rather than just the environment that we're in because of whatever reason, So the Chariot to me is showing this real readiness and desire to do this. It's showing me that you do have a lot of plans, like in your perfect world, your ideal world. You already know exactly what you want to do, how you would do it. It's very something that you've probably dreamed of a lot. You've envisioned it, visualized it a lot. Yeah. But I think that underneath everything, there's kind of this vibe of just being stuck on one particular track. And I think that's the track of the Prince of Cups with the Ten of Wands. These two together is kind of how you're living your life right now. And even the Ten of Wands kind of looks like a track that the Chariot might be riding on, right? Just driving on that same track. So the Chariot is kind of someone that gets stuck on a certain set of tracks, doesn't know how, really knows that they want to, but isn't really sure of how to get off the track or to change lanes, right? Or to go off trail, right? Make your own path out here. So we're kind of just, we're in a rut, and we're just kind of doing what we're doing, and we don't know how to kind of change directions. So that, I think, really is the first step. The next step forward we see with this Five of Wands. This is change. This is to, change the environment, right? I mean, we have to change a lot of things, I think. We have to not change in the sense of it's going to be different than what it is, but change as in take conscious control and mold our environment, begin to transform our world a little bit closer to our ideal. Okay. So this Five of Wands is really us reaching out to change things, right? To transform things, to mold things. It's an active card. This is a card that reaches out. Right? This isn't a stable resting state of anything. And in fact, the only stable resting state that we see is what's in the environment now. This is a situation that is way too heavy, and it's way too oppressive. That's even the title of this card, the Lord of Oppression. It's so much heavy fire energy that it is draining you of your vitality and your creativity, and we don't even really truly understand why. Or it's so cut off from the ace that it doesn't even have a purpose, so to speak. But everything else we see, because this is an even number, right, a 10, we see a 9, we see a 3, we see a 5, right? And those are the pips. So we're trying to get out of this, and even with the 3 of Pentacles here, it's an odd number. It's a function. It's a reaching out. It's a process. It's a flow. It's a force rather than the form. So this is the form that we're trying to get out of. And right now we're stuck on that track, but we can change things. This Five of Wands is like the whatever that lever is at a train kind of yard where you pull the lever and you can change tracks. I don't know what that's called. But that's this. But to do that, you have to reach out and grab it and move things around, right? We're not necessarily changing things. We're redirecting energy, which might lead us to a different alignment in the future, which is the alignment with, I think, our true self, our true nature. Okay? Or at least the expression of that. Yeah. because the Prince of Wands is about the expression of that fire energy. Right? So anyway, we'll come back to that. The Five of Wands, though, we have to keep this in mind. This is the way forward. It has to be an intentional thing. It has to be a conscious, effort. We also have a 9. The 9 up here is our desire, really. This is what we're aspiring to. And this card is kind of about strength and confidence. It's confidence of being able to go from this concealed nature to now the expressed nature, to living our life under the mandate of our true self. The confidence to go through this doorway, to make the connections, to connect with our true self, and to connect with the environment and the outside world, to get the practical things taken care of. It's the confidence to go through this doorway of fire, this portal. And this is kind of the blindingly bright tunnel that we have to go through with our chariot, even if we have to change tracks. Yeah. This is the confidence for that. It's a 9 of Wands. Sun and moon conjoined. This is inner reality and external reality matching. This is our head and our heart united in purpose. Right? This is a wand, a rod, a staff that can't be bent or broken. This is your will. Right? And we're aspiring to that. We want to be strong enough to just do this and not have whatever it is holding us back. Right, with the 10 of Wands stuff. This is all the stuff that's, again, it's the Lord of oppression. It's keeping us down. It's antagonistic to water, for one thing. So it's what we're struggling against. We're so busy just dealing with things as they are now that we haven't yet done this. But we will, because we're aspiring to strengthen our willpower. So some things that we may do with this 5 are these just small acts of intentional living, right? Just small things. Could be frivolous things, right? Just make a statement. Today I'm going to go outside for 5 minutes and just look at the grass, right? Seems simple enough. As soon as you speak that oath, right? That statement of intent, everything around you, the 10 of Swords, could be a 10 of Swords, the 10 of Wands. Everything around you is going to conspire to prevent that from happening. It's 5 minutes outside sitting on a bench, right? Sitting on the curb looking at the grass. Seems simple enough. As soon as you speak that intention into the world, that 10 of Wands, is going to conspire to prevent that from happening. So it takes a real act of will to do that. And it seems simple. Try it. It doesn't have to be going outside and looking at the grass. It could be anything. Could be anything, right? 5 minutes out of your day to do something that seems very simple, but very specific, and hold yourself to it. See how easily you can do that. See how difficult it is. Do that more and more. Do that every day. Do different things. And I think that is an exercise of will, even though it seems very simple. Simple is good. But that's just one beginning to this 5 of Wands, of how we can reach out and pull that lever to get to our future, to get through this doorway, to get to being in line with our true self and living this intentional life that we want here. Now, we get to the path of the serpent, and we see this Queen of Wands. This is water and fire, right? So this is kind of like we're still receiving some influence from back here. We're still receiving the influence from this water, but we're looking ahead towards this fire. So what are we bringing with us from this situation? Well, we're bringing memory, for one thing. We're bringing all of the knowledge of that experience that we had. We're not trying to reject the water energy. We're not trying to reject that more yielding, accepting, I don't want to say passive, but the more the more patient aspect of us that is just, accepting of the situation. We don't want to get rid of the water energy. We want to use the best pieces of it. Patience, right? Intelligence, intuition, and the acceptance, the yielding, right? The calmness, the insight, the ability to reflect and to understand kind of where we are. Because again, I think with this Prince of Cups and of course with the Chariot and stuff too, I think we have this desire to go forward, but we haven't because we've been overburdened. So you already feel this in your heart. Deep within you, you already know that we need to make this transition, this transformation. And now I think with the Queen of Wands, we're starting to realize that it is very possible. And I think we're starting to build up this alignment between higher and lower. We're starting to achieve a little bit more of this. This is becoming more clear. Again, this is at the top of the path of the dove. This is our aspiration. And this is becoming more and more clear, more and more evident in our practical life. In our daily life, in our activities, we're starting to get a stronger sense of that 9, that strength, that confidence, that willpower. And that, I think, would be enough to get us through the environment. I'm not saying you have to quit your job. I'm not saying you have to leave your family or any nonsense like that. We have to stop letting the environment that we're in, whatever situation you're in now, is right where you're supposed to be. Because it's a test to see if in the heaviest, most oppressive kind of situation you're in, can you still find your will and find yourself? Right? And if you are in an oppressive situation, by all means, yes, we have to get out of that. But this card, this reading doesn't just by default, by necessity, say that you have to leave your job or you have to leave your family or anything like that. No. We're getting out from under the oppressive energy. Wherever it is and however your true self dictates that you are to get out of that. Okay? It's not for us to say here. But this is an environment that is not friendly to your aspirations, to your higher self. This is an environment, this is a matrix of energy that wants to keep you where you are. Right? Doesn't want you to find your willpower, doesn't want you to find your true self, wants you to be here. But there's also the positive aspect of a 10, right? It means it's the ending of this. This oppressive energy, yes, it's very heavy and very difficult to deal with now, but this is as bad as it gets. This is the end of it. If we choose, again, if we choose with the 5 of Wands to reach through this, past it, to pull that lever to find our 9 of Wands, then this is over. Right? This is over. Now, when we can get out of that through our intentional living, we are confronted with the 3 of Pentacles. This is what we don't want, but it's what we need. This is the difficult work. I think this may seem very difficult, but once you get through this, then you realize how difficult it's going to be next. Because now you are making all of the intentional choices through your will and your true self of how we're going to build our new life, our new environment. Right? Energetically speaking, again, doesn't mean you have to change jobs or anything like this. How we're going to reconstruct our worldview, perhaps. Because you are the one doing the creating. You are the one that has to make the conscious choices and decisions of what to do and how to do it. You have to understand the process of creation. So this is the card that we really need. This is the big obstacle. Now, the networking that we've done with ourselves and with the others around us, the the allies that we may need in order to help us to build this new worldview. Now it's up to us to really begin this process of creation. We've chosen to do it. By the time we get to this card in this position, we've chosen to do this work. Now we have to do the work, right? In the practical life, in the material world. The next card is this Prince of Wands. This is the expression of your intentional life. This is you. This isn't an image of your true self. This is an image of you trying the best you can, right? Not always succeeding. Trying the best you can to follow the mandate of your true self, to always be living intentionally, right? Because this is fire, but it's the air. It's how we are expressing that. It's how we are communicating that and, projecting that into the rest of the world. Now it's through will, it's through intention, it's through fire, it's through creativity and confidence. Because you are connecting with your true self, you have this more intentional way of living, moving, of creating. Yeah. So this could be something, literally, it could be a situation in your professional life. Maybe it's a business environment, a work environment. It could be a home environment. It could be just a general life situation, all right? But I want to check out this mystery card. Our alien, full name is Alien Simon Mork Ripley. So thank you, everybody, for your suggestions. Say hello to Alien Simon Mork Ripley. Now, with the mystery card, the first card that came out was this Eon or Judgment card. This is transformation. This is a decision to move into the future. We're going through a doorway that we cannot go back through. So I think what we need here, and this may seem a little aggressive, but I think we need a tower moment. Right? I think we need to understand that when we start living intentionally, it is a doorway that we can't go back through. So we shut the door, and that opportunity, that past kind of crumbles, right? We can never go back to that way of living. It's like when you see an optical illusion or something. Once you see it a certain way, and then you see it the other way, you can't go back to the first way anymore. Have you noticed that? It's like a face or it's a pineapple. Well, as soon as you see the pineapple, you can't see the face anymore. Or maybe you can, I don't know. But in this situation, you can't. There's no going back, right? So I'm thinking something energetic like the tower. That's my first thought. Probably won't be the tower. The moon energy would be okay. If we got another Judgment card, that would be okay. But the Judgment card, if we got that, it would kind of be like, we heard the first alarm, we hit the snooze button, and then the alarm's sounding again. What are we going to do? But if it's the tower, it's just like, this is the moment. This is the biggest transformation. It's happening right now. We can't slow it down. We can't hit the snooze button, right? So let's look. Yes. Tower. Look at that. This is, the alarm clock has sounded, and you've got no choice but to jump out of bed and get ready, right? Because this is something that Spirit says you need to do right now. No hitting the snooze button on this one, right? Your higher self, your true self is calling. We have to start living intentionally. And this is very powerful, very powerful. We are going to do an extended. If you would like to stick around, just click up there. That'll give you access to every extended reading, all right? Please hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. All right. Thank you for being here, and thank you for letting me read for you.